feel like I gotta sneeze.
Broccoli.
What?
You haven't heard of that?
No, I've heard of asparagus.
Yeah, look at the light. Yeah.
I've heard of asparagus.
Asparagus? Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I forget who it was. Yeah, someone's like, if you got to sneeze, think of broccoli and you won't sneeze.
No.
But the problem is, like, whenever I have to sneeze, I want to sneeze.
No, those look at the light and say asparagus to sneeze.
I thought it was look at the light and it makes you not sneeze.
I think it's all bullshit.
I mean, it's 100% all bullshit.
Whatever makes you feel better.
We've had this conversation on opening before.
Probably.
Are we just is this the loop? Is this the sign? We've talked about everything.
It's been 1 week since
you looked at me. So your arms decided, said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me. Oh. You just did what I thought you were gonna do.
I wanted to say that earlier, but that doesn't work for this.
Oh. You want to be sure?
Yeah, this intro's bogus. Anyways, this is Tommy.
Fuck, this is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. No, Bogus is real.
It was wild. She's like, "Stop yelling at me!" I'm like, "Sis, you started it. Like, you jumped."
No, 7. Bogus is real.
He's 7. Chill.
Also, be like, it's like he keeps like think about the way he's saying this. No, Bogus is real. Okay, I'm not trying to say like, but it's like I'm saying the word. You goddamn 7-year-old child. Fine, yeah.
Well, that's
I mean, she gave in finally. Like, you know what? This isn't worth my time. I don't get paid enough for this.
Clearly, something else going on.
There's a lot. Something else going on for this entire fucking movie.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, peoples.
Welcome back to TJ's Mixtape. I'm Tommy. That's Jacob. If you're new here, we review movies. So we kind of talk about the history of them, where they came from, who made them, and then a little bit of what the movie's about. And then we give an arbitrary rating because it just puts a nice ending on it.
Because that's just what we do.
And so welcome in, or welcome back, whichever one you are. And today we are doing 1996's Bogus.
Yeah.
In celebration of if I don't know.
I mean, not celebration, but like you know. Also, I just want to just come forward and say I'm sorry for this block.
What? Oh, because it's a bummer.
No, I mean I didn't really think about it. No, these. But I mean, last week's movie was just weird and just not very good. This movie, fucking snoozer. I thought like with If coming out. Also, I don't know, maybe it's like, hey, look, this is what we used to have for imaginary friend movies, and now we have this.
Yeah, this, again, I'm like, I don't really know who this is for. And 2 pretty big talents, which you feel like they didn't really do anything with them.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very strange. Very, very...
Hey, now we know.
Yeah, you know.
I'd never seen it.
I don't think you ever had to. Except for me being like, this will be fun. Well, I mean,
I didn't hate it.
I mean, I didn't really hate it either. But to kind of give context to everybody's like with newer movies coming out, we've been trying to like see if we can get some traction with all of that. So like we did the Planet of the Apes because Kingdom came out, and now with If coming out, it was like, well, let's see what kind of traction we can get with maybe imaginary friend movies, and also those who are listening, it's like, oh yeah, with this imaginary friend movie coming out, let's go back to our childhood to the imaginary friend movies that we had. And let's just say,
well, this one's actually an imaginary friend.
I mean, Fred was too, technically.
But like, this is like a magic imaginary friend.
Yeah, until the end, where he breaks the fourth wall and he's like, and if
no, but then he's our imaginary friend.
Jesus Christ.
What? It is my job.
It is my job. I am a Frenchman. All right.
Jacob hates the French.
I just hate the French language. That's really what it is.
Rude.
It's like, I don't think that, it's like, I don't get why people think it's such a beautiful language. It just sounds like farts coming out of their mouth. Like, are you chewing with your mouth full? What's happening? Swallow your food and then speak English, please.
Dylan Moran has a good bit about the French.
Oh,
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
No, but
well, let's get into the movie.
I'll show it to you later.
What's your synopsis of the movie for those?
I wrote it really weird. Basically, a young boy's mother dies, and to deal with the grief, a imaginary friend that is French moves to New Jersey with him.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
I mean, it's very clear why the imaginary friend is French.
Yeah,
You know,
because his father figure
yeah,
in his life is French and
a magician
in the circus.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Oh, it's a strange kid. Kid's gonna get picked on a lot.
And then he grows up to see dead people.
Oh man! All right, so yeah, Bogus. Yeah, it came out September 6th, 1996. It was released at the Toronto International Film Festival and the U.S. on the same day, same weekend, which I thought was interesting. Not really big box office hit. It was actually, I couldn't really find much info on this movie in general.
No, it kind of came and went.
Yeah.
And with a budget of $25 million, it grossed $4.4 million. So
so it was a big flop.
No one went and saw it.
Yeah. Oh, it was like 157 in the box office.
Yeah.
And then
To me, that was even I didn't even think it was going to make it onto that list.
Oh, really?
I
mean, with Whoopi in it, it's definitely going to draw a big audience, which is why it's probably at somewhere on the box office.
Yeah, but even with that, though, it's like she's in it. Is she? I mean, she is, but...
I mean, when this movie was being promoted, it was comedic Whoopi, woo, with an imaginary friend and a kid. And in the 90s, this is towards the tail end of Whoopi's big comedic
No, I know, but
whatnot, you know?
Well, I just mean just she's not really in it. She's a very subdued Wookiee Whoopi in it.
I really think that's just bad script.
Yeah.
You know. Well, let's get into the unknown people-ish that fucking... Well, I should say unknown. The weird group of people that directed, wrote, and did this film. So we got Norman Jewison, who most notably for director for Moonstruck and Fiddler on the Roof and In the Heat of the Night. Those are 3 movies that he won Academy Awards for.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yep.
Rollerball.
Oh, I missed that. I overlooked that one. So he did the OG Rollerball. Mm-hmm. Cool. This was one of his final films that he directed. I want to say it's the 5th to the last one. And he stopped directing in 2000, or his last film was released in 2003, which sounds fucking crazy. I forgot to write down the name of it, but it has Michael Caine in it. And Michael Caine is playing an old Nazi executioner, and he's on trial for some shit. I think it's called The Statement.
What?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
wait, here it is. I want to watch that.
Right?
Drama. Tale of a former Nazi executioner becomes a target of hitmen and police investigators.
Yeah.
I like me Michael Caine. That'd be a fun impression to learn. Don't even.
Shut up.
Don't even try.
My throat is locking up on the spot. I can do a decent one.
I just can't think of a line.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying not to say anything from Batman.
Why?
Because
Easy.
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
All right. Anyways.
Bruce.
I never know. Messed up white.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Norman Jewison. Yeah, this is towards the end of his tail end of his career, and just for someone who has the sentimentality of what this movie has, I see the care that Norman Jewison was trying to put into this movie, and a movie that it just misses a lot of things, misses the mark.
See, this is where I would say that the character development is lacking, and it's actually very detrimental to the movie. And I can't pinpoint why this one and not Fred, but just the characters we're introduced to. They always get like right here, like right here, and you need them to be like right. They just need a little more to make them full.
All of the characters are existing inside of just a trope as well. Damn, was that your ankle? I hope I got that, like that pop. If you guys heard that pop, I hope you heard that pop.
Oh, that was one of those that hurt so good.
The reaction on your face. All right. But yeah, no, all of the characters live inside of just like very tired tropes, especially for the mid 90s. And they never grow out of it.
Well, it's just, and it's like, like there's moments too, like towards the end with her and him having that. There's a couple moments that are really sweet and heartfelt, but then you remember that you don't really care about anyone. Or me, this is me. I don't say, me. I'm like, I don't really care. I should be having an emotional response to this, and I see the one I'm supposed to be having, but I'm not having it.
Yeah, yep.
And I was like, that's a really weird place to be in. You're like, yeah, that's cute. I don't care.
You want to see a picture of my kid? No. Yeah, but I have to, I guess.
Yeah, the polite thing to do is say, yeah.
All right, let's go into writers. It's got 3 writers on it, and 2 of them are kind of just like one-offs in a weird way. I'll just quickly start with Francis X. McCarthy Jr., which, okay. This is their only credit.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was easier to like go down a deep dive and do like some internet sleuthing on just these people that are like one names, like one movie credit, not even producing credit, anything. It's like, why did you do? Who did you fight to get this credit? What weird royalties are getting? Do they get like $2 a month from the whatever sold royalties of this movie have?
And then what? Jeff Rothberg?
Oh yeah, Jeff Rothberg, who just kind of has like, they were also a producer on this, and they have a very short list. And I just wanted to note that they also have like a Simple Wish, which has Mara Wilson in it. And then a really fucking fever dream of a movie, An Amazing Panda Escape or Rescue.
Amazing Panda Adventure. You've talked about that one.
I don't really remember it, but I remember it. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember a while ago you wanted to do a block of
like kids with animals.
Yeah, and I was like Mighty Joe Young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking like there was Born to Be Wild.
Yeah,
there's the Ed. I think. Well, that's
Flipper.
Flipper. Dude, fucking
Free Willy.
Free Willy. Oh, I need Davi to fucking resend that.
Wait, what is this Simple
Free Willy
Wish?
2 thing? It
a
was
bumbling fairy godfather tries to grant a girl's wish that her cabbie father lands a Broadway role, and it's Martin Short.
Mm-hmm. And Mara Wilson from Matilda.
Yeah, I'd watch it just for him.
But it was weird. It's like, I see that Jeff Rothberg, he had like these like stories created. Like he started like, he was like, oh, like kids movies type things, or like movies that center around like kid adventure type stuff. Like with this, the Panda, A Simple Wish. And then it's fucking weird shit after that. But yeah, but then we have who wrote our screenplay for this, Alvin Sargent, who, fucking was written a lot of stuff, but like the most notable ones I saw was Spider-Man 2 and 3 wrote the screenplay for. What About Bob?
I fucking love What About Bob.
Baby Steps.
I love that movie. Yeah, the Spider-Man 2, 3, and The Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm,
Andrew's whack at it. And an uncredited writer in The Star Is Born. The OG.
Yeah. He's also uncredited writer on the first Spider-Man too. The Sam Raimi one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a ballsy move to me.
What?
To get a screenplay writer that did this franchise that they decided, all right, we're done, we're not doing that one anymore, And then years and years later, they're like, hey, we're going to do a movie. And they're like, we want you to do a screenplay. Oh, cool. What's the movie? Spider-Man. Huh?
I wonder if maybe he was only credited as screenplay because maybe he had written like Spider-Man 4 screenplay and they bought rights to that and then it turned into The Amazing Spider-Man. And
that's fair.
You know,
it's the same kind of part of my brain that it just like when like J.J. Abrams did a Star Wars movie. You're like, well, he's like the Star Trek guy.
now he's the sci-fi guy.
Yeah, I always find it funny when it gets real close.
Did he also do Lost?
Who?
J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
Or he did Heroes.
Heroes. It's one of those.
Or both.
Watch him as he goes.
As they fall off the...
I'm sick, by the way. So that's why I'm
a little loopy.
That's why my nose is so red.
But yeah, so it's kind of a really ragtag group of people behind the scenes here. And did you? I looked it up. I can't remember. I didn't write anything notes. Did you see anything like pre-production or whatnot through Wikipedia that was interesting at all?
No, because what I try to do too is I go to Wikipedia and I don't like that being the only.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, that looks interesting. Let's try and find another reference to that.
Yeah.
And I found jack shit.
Yeah.
I found nothing.
This movie there's like Jeff Rothberg and Francis X. McCarthy Jr. were like, kid, mom dies, imaginary friend, sympathy, over, let's do it. Someone write it. And then Alvin Sargent's like, okay. And then wrote something and they're like, who's going to direct this? And then they're like, this guy won an Academy Award back in the 80s. They're like, let's do him.
So this is 96.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, were they...
Let's cast Whoopi!
Yeah, who's available? Whoopi. I'm like, were they trying to come off the tail end of something? Did they see a lot of...
I don't know.
Because this doesn't really feel like anything. It's like the Kirkland brand of blank. It doesn't feel like that. So I just was like, okay, what year? 1994. I was just going to look real quick. Is there anything in the first 50?
If anything, it's kind of like maybe it was just a script that was sitting there and maybe like Whoopi had a deal and someone's like, well, let's try to bring out her comedic sense, but let's show her in this tired trope of a woman who gets care of a kid that she, didn't have any idea about type thing, Like, if anything's like, if anything's at the tail end of, this is at the tail end of like Whoopi's big, like, popularity.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, especially if we're going to do a trope like that, like Baby Boom.
Yeah.
Baby Boom did that trope, but it did it very well. It's a very...
What year was that?
That had to be early. Because I did it really well. 87.
87?
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, that's definitely late 80s.
And I feel like even like this, I don't know exactly when or where this trope really began, but it feels like something that's been around for a long time because it started happening again in the 2000s.
Well, it's the...
didn't fucking Brittany Murphy do a movie with something like this with Dakota Fanning?
Yeah. Jersey Girl?
No,
like
not Jersey Girl. That's Kevin Smith and Ben
No, but yeah,
Affleck.
it's her and...
that's a wonderful movie, actually.
It's her and Little Blondie.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning, right?
Yeah, Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, no, it's just that it's that trope of, especially at this time too, the independent working woman, and then throw the maternity in there, to like, because
and then here's a wrench in your plans of being independent is now you got to learn how to be a mother.
In the late 80s and 90s, that was like even our moms were, the go to work in the suit every day kind of thing, you know. So I think that's why.
Yeah, no, totally, yeah.
Well, that's why I think it started. You were just like, I don't know when it started.
Oh, but I feel like it started even before that, though, a little bit, maybe. I mean, Baby Boom might be kind of like one of the OG of it, though. Yeah, breaking everything. Well, as we're talking about Whoopi, let's talk about starring in this movie and whatnot.
Attention to the man behind the curtain.
Whoopi Goldberg, now probably most famous for The View in current days. With some controversial views on things here and there.
I love watching them. What are they going to say next? What about popcorn?
She really got her start in the 80s with like The Color Purple. She's done a good amount of Broadway. She's also in the movie Ghost. Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore,
and she's fucking hilarious in that.
Yeah, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, if I remember correctly, and or Golden Globe for that. Maybe.
Well, it was the same thing with Drop Dead Fred. Her interacting with someone she can't see.
Yeah,
she's hilarious. She's like losing her mind.
And then solo big stuff like Sister Act is one of her biggest movies, and Sister Act 2.
More recently too, Star Trek.
I mean, she was in the Next Generation show.
Yeah, but she still reoccurs as the same character.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh, that's cool.
I saw I haven't watched since.
I don't remember what her character is in it.
I think I tried to watch Picard, and I was wholly uninterested.
You really got to have a lot of knowledge of.
I realized that very quickly. Yeah. I'm like a lot of shit.
And the Next Generation is, in my opinion, the best series of it all.
I liked Deep Space.
Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm. I liked Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that one's it's a stationary spot though, because it's just about
that space. Yeah,
that space station.
Well, you realize
it's kind of like a weird sitcom when I think about for Deep Space Nine.
You realize we've done Whoopi, right?
When the fuck did we do Whoopi?
Pagemaster.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Pagemaster is episode 85. Yeah, so we've done that was about 100 episodes ago. But yeah, we done Whoopi. But we didn't really focus too much on the books. We just did a quick little shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were focusing a lot more with the animation and the story.
Yeah, we did Whoopi.
Yeah, all right. Well,
we're getting to that point. We're forgetting stuff.
Dude, I've been forgetting stuff since episode 92.
But yeah, that's Whoopi.
All right, and then we have our... Do you want to go to Haley or...
I was going to go to Bogus.
All right, hold on a sec here. His name.
Gérard Depardieu.
That was horrible.
Oh, I didn't think it was going to be choppy like that.
I want to see my face.
Gérard Depardieu.
Depardieu. Gérard Depardieu.
Who plays our imaginary friend Bogus, who I really like from two movies. One of which I'm sure is controversial now, but it's French, so I don't think anyone...
I thought he was like some type of like French comedian, and I didn't know he's like he's like a serious actor.
Yeah.
He's like Shakespearean and shit. I was like, oh fuck, all right.
And he's a great actor.
He's in The Man in the Iron Mask. Which I mean, I haven't seen, so...
And he's funny in that.
So, is he funny in that?
He's, because although The Man in the Iron Mask is them older...
Mm-hmm.
And he's been the sword fighting fucker of the group. He's the love maker, and now he's old and everything. And he's like having a hard time getting an erection and shit. So
my god!
So he's all depressed.
That sounds like that shouldn't be in the movie.
It's so weird.
What the fuck is this?
I was explaining that movie to someone. I can't remember who, and they were like, "This doesn't sound good." I'm like, "It's really not, but it's really fun to watch."
Is it? Was it a book first?
I have no idea. I really want to do The Man in the Iron Mask
because it's like continuation of Three Musketeers.
Yeah,
right?
It's them. It's them older.
Yeah,
like D'Artagnan's now the king of the captain of the guard, the Three Musketeers, the Musketeers.
I am a Musketeer. I am John Malkovich.
Well, that's what makes it weirder too, because then you have Gérard who's actually French, so he's the one doing. He is the Frenchman. He's doing that, and then you have John Malkovich coming up. What are you talking about, fuck face? And he's like, oh no,
I can speak French too. Oui.
It's so weird. Like that'd be really fun to review because that movie is fucking bonkers. The shit that happens in that.
I always thought it was like a Disney movie too.
Well, there is the Disney Three Musketeers.
Yeah, I know. All right.
And he's in this movie called The Closet.
The Closet? Is that the other one? That
I really like.
Is it about what I think it's about?
A guy's gonna get fired from his job at a condom factory.
At a condom factory?
Yeah, and he pretends to be gay.
Yeah,
to not get discriminated against, and it just starts to spiral. It's a French comedy, and then Gérard.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, but
French,
which makes it funnier for some reason. Well, because then Gérard is the bully, like the guy that's always been busting his balls at work.
Oh, okay.
But now that he's gay, everyone's now turning on him for being homophobic, and so he has to change his behavior to. Because he was like, no, it was never because he was gay. It's because I just didn't like him. Yeah. But they're like, no, you don't like him because he's gay. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, no, I just don't like it. It's pretty funny. I mean, I watched this 15 years ago, but it was pretty funny.
When it would have been okay.
Yeah. It was okay at the time, I guess. I don't know.
All right, so that's Gérard Depardieu. And then we got our sweet little kid, Haley Joel Osment. Who I forgot was actually the kid until like as I was getting ready to rent. I was like, "Who plays the kid?" It's not Haley Joel Osment, is it?
Even though I know he's 7 and everything, but what a tiny little kid.
Yeah,
He was really tiny little guy.
when he's sitting there with like the cards and like he's trying to show how he can do the magic and go with them and whatnot, and just the cards just slowly like drop, and it's just like it's actually a really sad moment.
Yeah, but it still didn't.
He's like defeated, and just like it's like you really just see like that is a child because like how like their child's like limbs are just like disproportionate,
Yeah.
like giant head.
Well, that
short
fucking
arm.
hairdo.
Yeah.
What was with
that helmet?
No, the bowl cut mullet. It was a bowl cut, and then it went way down, like into the shirt. What the fuck was that? I'm sure I gotta find some picture. I'm sure I had it.
Oh, I had it. 100%. I had it.
I had it. I had to have it. But that was yeah.
It might have missed. You might have been just a little too young for it.
Okay, I gotta look.
Because like for me, this is like I'm like 6 years old. So what, like 1991, 1992.
Yeah.
I'm in kindergarten, and I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, and I'm smiling like this.
Oh, it'd be so great if we could get some pictures of us with those 90s haircuts and put them like right here.
Oh my God!
As we're talking about it.
I'll see. I think I have mine somewhere. If you can find yours.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, but
he sees dead people.
well, then also that's what I was thinking before. But even like compared to Gérard, because Gérard is a big man.
Yeah.
He's like, there's that scene where they're like, he's like comforting him in bed.
Does his nose get bigger through the movie? I swear to God,
that guy's got a nose.
Dude. Yeah.
It's a beautiful French nose. It's big.
It's like kind of like
It's got the bump.
scar in it.
Yeah, it's cool. He's got a good nose. But yeah, they're like, he's comforting him in bed, and Haley does like a little pat on the, and you just like,
Is this how small his hand
Yeah.
is to the guy's face?
it's like Andre the Giant.
only in reverse.
yeah.
It's like when you have those like the tiny hand that you put on your finger.
But yeah, Haley Joel Osment, known for like The Sixth Sense. I made that joke. That terrible movie AI.
Is it terrible? I've never seen it.
Oh no, it's just a bummer.
That's Kevin Spacey, right? Oh no.
No, it's
Jude Law. Yeah.
who else? There's a lot of people in that. I'm totally.
I
blanking.
always get this confused with the one with Helen Hunt. Pay It Forward.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Bicentennial Man.
No, that's Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's the only one I. But AI is futuristic Spielberg Pinocchio, right? Isn't it Spielberg? I think it's Spielberg.
I don't know anything about it.
That'd be fun to review. That's a fucking bummer of a movie.
Fair.
It's really.
Should
sad.
we do that in Bicentennial Man?
Yeah. Ooh, depressing sci-fi shit. Yeah. That'd actually be fun. I mean, wrong word, but you know.
I have also written down. He's the voice of Sora in Kingdom Hearts.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
that was cool. I didn't know that.
He's a very big voice actor now.
He has a fun bit part in The Boys.
Yep. I kind of want to go down a deep dive of his like mid-20s acting career because it looks like he did a bunch of weird indie shit that nobody really knows about.
Tusk.
I still haven't seen Tusk, but I've seen Yoga Hosers, which is like a spiritual like sequel to it.
There's a fucking sequel to it.
It's not. It's spiritual sequel. It's in the same universe.
Okay, I need to watch it.
It's a comedy. It's a B comedy. Yeah, it's still Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Is it a horror movie?
It's a horror comedy, and Johnny Depp does his character from Tusk, and it stars Johnny Depp's daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter as the lead.
Johnny Depp's character in Tusk.
He's the detective with the nose.
I would say, God, I gotta watch Tusk again. I'm never watching that ever again. And just the Kaminsky Method, which is a show that
is a newer one,
ish, but it's a really good like comedy dramedy that I really like.
So Whoopi, Gérard, and Haley are kind of really. Oh, quick shout out to Nancy Travis, who we talked about, and So I Married an Axe Murderer, who plays the mother, Haley, kid's mother. Mm-hmm. What's the kid's name? Albert,
which is a weird name for a 7-year-old.
I mean, it's the 90s.
This just feels very Hello, I'm Albert.
Hi, Albert. He's probably listening right now.
Well,
You're talking shit about his name, man.
Not. It doesn't work for 7.
He was 7 years old at one point.
And it was weird when he was 7. What? Certain names just sound more adult, and it's like, hello, I'm Albert. Like, it works for him now. At 7, it would have been funny.
I'm Albert. You want to go? You want to keep going? Going to the reviews?
And I threw out Andrea Martin. From Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, is he?
No, she's the secretary.
Oh.
She's not Tula.
Oh. I didn't recognize
Which, I have to say, is probably my top 5 romantic comedies.
My Big Fat. It's a great fucking
it's
movie.
so funny. It's so quotable. Funny. There's a hole in this cake. Like, it's just a funny fucking movie.
Get the Windex.
Yeah, it's just... it's a good movie.
The dad's
because that's why I wrote it down, because then the teacher, the one we were just at the beginning that's freaking out, she's the boyfriend's mother in My Big Fat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was sitting there, I was like,
I wonder if there's a weird tie to it. Did you
no,
dive into
I
that?
just was like, I know that woman, why? And then it took me forever, and then it was like, oh, because she has like just a really small part in that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into reviews, which I'm very curious about.
Well, there's no Metacritic. So.
Really? Oh, it's one of those. Well, on IMDb, it's got a 5.3, middle of the road. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, had a 41% tomato meter and a 45% audience score. So literally just kind of like down the middle the entire way. So what did you find?
So I just went on Rotten Tomatoes and then kind of basically went to the websites that still
existed,
linked,
had stuff
on it. So I just wrote down 3. One from Mal Vincent at Virginia Pilots, who gave it a 2 out of 4. It's a shame, given the promising teaming, that the 2 stars didn't get to interact until the last third of the movie. Which I also was kind of waiting for. I was waiting for Ghost, him doing stuff and her reacting to it, and
oh, my love. My darling. Sorry.
And then
I just started. My brain went to Community next. So.
Oh, forgot.
No ghosting.
No ghost. The second one I wrote down was Roger Ebert, who gave it a 3 out of 4, and just the main thing is a charming, inconsequential fantasy, which I was like, that's charming. It's
what did I write? Sweet but predictable.
And then Janet Maslin at New York Times, there's no number. Jewison lays on the dry ice and special effects without adding emotion to a slow, hackneyed story.
I don't know if I'd say hackneyed.
No, I didn't. They did.
I know. I How I long for your touch.
We should do that one for Valentine's Day.
Ghost?
Yeah. Have we ever done Patrick Swayze or Demi Moore?
I don't think so. We should do Roadhouse.
I saw a great video that all those movies are connected.
Oh, how Patrick Swayze. Yeah, I think I saw the same one. Yeah.
It's great.
From Dirty,
you're like,
Dirty Dancing all the way.
Yeah. Like, you're like, God damn,
Point
is
Break.
it though? It's like, is it though? Is it supposed to be?
Yeah, I really thought that this movie had a sweet sentimentality to it. Everything is like the immediate setup of Albert losing his mother and then the working woman getting the kid. I was just like, I know exactly how this movie is going to end without even. I was like, I didn't need to watch an hour and 56-minute long movie to get that. This kid used an imaginary friend to deal with the trauma of losing his mother and as a bonding tool to become friends with this now new mother. Like, it was just, I was just like, this is like, I know exactly. Yeah. I know everything.
Well, that's kind of the weird thing about it too. And let me know if this comes off a type of way. But it's just like they did the whole thing just kind of felt like too, like they took these weird, almost unnecessary steps in it to kind of make it like, I don't know, even just how do I word this? Like the whole magician Vegas thing. He wants to be a magician. Why? Because his mom worked as a dancer at a show in Vegas and he was really good friends with the magician. Great, cool. What does that have to fucking do with anything? They never made it mean other than he likes to do magic, which then they just kind of bring up in conversation. It's not like he uses his magic at some point to get out of a conflict.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or even like the whole mom and what's her name? What's Whoopi's name again? Ooh. Harriet. The mom and Harriet being foster children.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, great. But then it's like, okay, yeah, we're doing that. So they have like this sisterly bond. And you're like, okay.
But they haven't talked in like a decade.
15 years.
Yeah.
So that relationship it's just, you know what I mean?
That's also kind of a crazy thing about this trope in general. It's like under no governmental system would allow this child to be just given into the care of a woman that has never written an agreement or document stating that they will take guardianship over a child.
But it's also like, but even that whole, it's like, okay, fine. If that's the case, Harriet can just be like, I don't want to do this and go to the circus. And do you want to adopt this kid? Here you go.
Yeah.
Have the kid. But they don't want the kid. Basically.
Yeah. Well, they responsibly know they shouldn't take the kid.
I do like, though, when he shows up at the show again, the French guy being like, we need to call the police. And I was like, thank you. Somebody call the police. Because you are now kidnapping. If you do not tell anyone what's going on, you are kidnapping. But yeah, so you get what I mean? It's just like they added all these weird little bells and whistles.
And never actually like did anything. It was like the magician thing was the connection before him and Bogus. And it was...
But then Bogus didn't do anything magician-y.
That's true, too, yeah.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. I kept waiting for the imaginary friend powers to come out.
Oh, well, they did finally with Whoopi, and then she learns to interact with her inner child, and then they have a dance scene, and it's like this is unnecessary.
Or even that scene where they're sword fighting, and then the swords turn swords.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, okay, cool. We're about to get some more of this. You know, the imagination of the child coming through, and they never do.
They never take it to the next step.
And I was just kind of like, this is really bizarre. I don't really get what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's very tame. Like,
yeah, it's safe.
Yeah,
and which is just funny because Drop Dead Fred was just so fucking over
bonkers.
The top.
Yeah,
and this is like they couldn't find a happy medium. You know, like this has been sedated and like.
Well, I mean, to be 100% honest as well, I fell asleep first time I was watching this. I fell asleep when he fell asleep with when he went to Atlantic City.
Oh, and yeah, and the magician does the.
I fell asleep while he was having his dream of his mom coming down or whatever.
That was weird.
And then he's asleep through the entire time of fucking Harriet carrying him back.
Yeah, which was wild.
And then he's fucking hallucinating up the fire escape.
Well, which I thought was weird too, because I was like, well, we never really touched base that he has any kind of like fear of heights or anything. Which I'm not saying that the 7-year-old should be on the fire escape by himself. No. But what I'm saying is like that whole shot was very much, I'm conquering my fear of heights.
I mean, I see what you mean with that.
That trope.
It was more of the he's trying to ascend to heaven to be with mom, and then like, oh no, I've actually been climbing a real ladder, and I could die. And then it's like, don't reach down for the weird feat of strength of pulling that kid up while you're leaned over like that, you know. It's like you're just like come on, let's keep going. And then once he gets kind of higher, and then you just kind of help him up. You don't yank the kid.
It's amazing what becomes our problems in movies.
Like you didn't have a problem with that?
I didn't give 2 fucks about that. But you clearly did.
It was bothering the hell out of me.
Fucking ladder. What you gotta do. You don't. Jesus. But it's like now that we're kind of talking about it and kind of going through it in my head, I really am kind of like, what actually happened in this movie? Besides
a woman dying and like it's like also the constant like how quickly this has turned her life upside down. She's like getting a parking ticket here and a parking ticket there.
Yeah, that was the rule of threes, though.
Yeah.
That was the comedic rule.
Well, yeah, but it's also still, it's like, it's so forced and it's still a trope. And, you know,
Well, even, that's true.
and it's tired, you know?
Well, even the last one, too. She's like, she says some really weird shit in this, like, spare me the philosophy, which you're like, did I miss it? I don't remember the other cops giving you any kind of weird dime store philosophy. And then the cop responds with Hakuna Matata. And then she goes, Disney, Disney, Disney. Everywhere you see is Disney. And I'm like, Whoopi, hey, I got a surprise for you.
You and Disney.
Well, no, but also like wait a couple of decades. It's gonna get pretty brutal.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, and also that's true. And you were in Disney.
Yeah. I think that was the joke though for the time, you know.
But yeah, it's just like this is really odd. I mean, I did like when she's like, the kids are like, your kid is weird. You want to see something really weird? When you go home, look at your mother. That got me pretty good. Your mom goes to college.
Yep.
What are we at?
Like 40. Yeah. I don't think we really have much more to relate. I mean, yeah, this movie, even like the breaking of the fourth wall at the end, I felt like it kind of like it really hammered in what the message, what the vehicle of what him as an imaginary friend is supposed to be for the movie, you know, as like an aid to overcoming this trauma and finding, you know, because like now as they're running away in the cemetery, Bogus is
just in really bad taste, by the way. They're killing each other in the cemetery.
Right.
That was rad.
Well, even she's like, hey, you know it's bad to run into the cemetery, right? Pow!
Yeah, it was fucking rad.
And then it's like it's almost as, and then like Bogus isn't in their, you know, in their mind anymore as it goes away, and then he's like, and then I will be your friend, ha 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 ha. I don't know why he became the accountant right there, but but it's like if it would have been like instead of breaking the fourth wall, looking in the camera, like he just kind of like nodded and then turned around and then just like walked off in the distance and then slowly dissipated.
Yeah, I mean, or even like with the whole like,
because like the very ending, like even like as the credits are getting ready to roll, it's like he finds there's another kid just sitting there, and it turns into like so he's a like manifestation that exists in another dimension that's going to go and now help another kid.
Yeah,
is he just a vehicle? Like the idea, like he is the idea of an imaginary friend, therefore imaginary friend just keeps going. It's like a little bit of what they were trying to do with Drop Dead Fred as well, but just in another different. Well, I don't know.
Well, I think that's actually a really good way of putting it too, in the sense of I just don't think that they executed a lot of what they wanted to do very well.
Yeah.
Because even then, that whole breaking the fourth wall thing is really weird just because that's the one and only time it happens. And so that's really jarring.
It's because he's magic.
Yeah, but it's like he should have been doing it the whole time then. Maybe casually, like quietly. Like say something funny.
Like Jim in The Office.
Yeah, you know, or like look at the camera and like say something funny and then like wink or whatever.
Yeah.
Because even then it's like he could have done that whole in sense monologue, but just talking to himself in the sense of, you know, because what he said was really sad.
Yeah.
They never say goodbye. They need you 1 minute and then, you know, but he could have been kind of just, say la vie, you know, like to himself and then cut to him meeting the other kid.
Or just like, they never say goodbye.
Yeah.
And then turns and walks and sees the other kid. And that's all we needed.
Yeah. But, you know, like him walking, kind of mumbling to himself, like, you know, doing his little funny walk that he did and kind of just having...
Which also, did he walk like that the rest of the film?
Yeah, he did.
It's like, I have a vague memory of it. Because you don't really see him ever really walk.
No, there's a couple scenes. Yeah, he has this very kind of sway kind of thing he does throughout it. But that's even like what it is, too. It's like this movie, it's one of those kind of weird situations where kind of the bare bones are fine. You just really made like for a feel good dealing with grief movie, like the principle and everything, the foundation, everything is fine. It's just you didn't really do anything with it. Like you had Whoopi Goldberg, like in her prime, you know, and she didn't really do anything.
You have Gérard really, and Gérard like, kind of like really like top of the world as an actor, like maybe not in the United States, but you have this fantastic, like wonderful actor.
Yeah, just look if you just look at his list, the dude's been around forever.
It's rising young star Haley Joel Osment, who is really fucking adorable and heartbreaking in this movie. I feel like Haley Joel Osment does a fantastic job in this movie with what he's given.
Yeah, but even that too, it's like, you have to have the thing about Whoopi and Gerard not interacting, which isn't like great, but even the moments with Haley and him are just really subdued. And you're like, this is an imaginary friend of a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Where's the imagination?
I mean, it does.
Besides, he's French.
Yeah, it does do this like weird bounce back and forth of, it's almost like the imaginary friend isn't necessarily like a person to play and have fun with. It is there a little bit, obviously in the park with the swords, the sticks, but he's more of like a therapeutic like friend. You see more times of Bogus comforting Albert and hugging and kind of like also like and
Being almost paternal.
Yeah, being more paternal than anything.
Yeah.
Like you need no, give her a chance. And which is interesting as a coping device that they have for Albert, is he's creating an imaginary friend that's more of like someone to look after him because
no father, feels alone. His mother died suddenly.
And obviously he's and he's basing it off of this French magician that he looked up to as a father and wanted to continue in that path with him. So it's like, again, like, and like those little things, a little on the nose, but it makes perfect sense. But then they just don't like you said, they don't really like explore it in any like conducive way for the film. It just kind of like beat by beat happens as if it's like, well, what would happen next, I guess.
Well, yeah, and like kind of like what you were saying earlier about the hour and 50 whatever minutes.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
like now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what actually?
It's like, why is this almost 2 hours long?
And that's really what it feels like. It's like they didn't want to push it too far. Like that whole scene with him Bogus coming to life on the airplane.
Yeah.
You're kind of gearing up for something really
goofy. It's
goofy to happen,
yeah.
something silly, and then he's the kid. The 7-year-old's talking to himself in the bathroom. And it's like, yeah, have you met a 7-year-old? That's not that weird. It's really not.
Oh, that's a big one. Have you seen that video?
I like turtles. Like it's really not. 7-year-olds are weird. That's when they're still they're not super constrained by societal rules and stuff, and they kind of do whatever the fuck they want, which is awesome. That's what makes them fun to be around. Other than that, like. You don't want, like, you ever met a real serious 7-year-old? They're scary.
Yeah, they are.
They're a little they're a little too intense.
I helped run a kids theater camp once with the little kids in theater.
Yeah,
wow, it's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like even like with like my niece too. When she was 7, she was hilarious. Because of the imagination.
The imagination, yeah.
Yeah. So that was even what I thought was weird too. All these adults that clearly had never been around a child, their lives are all like, "The hell is he doing talking to himself?" It's like. He's not speaking tongues and killing cats. He's talking to himself.
It's another tired trope of like the adults that don't understand the little kid world still. It's like...
Yeah, because their little kid, they lost their inner child.
They lost their imaginary friend. Although I do got to say, every time a reoccurring thing that I've been thinking about is the scene in Inside Out when the imaginary friend sacrifices himself as a memory to save...
the one person on the planet that didn't...
You haven't seen Inside Out?
No, I didn't. That didn't affect me at all.
Oh my God. Did you have an imaginary friend when you were a kid? Do you know? Can you remember?
I don't remember if I had a specific,
like this is Bob.
Bob, yeah. This is Bob. But I know that I put a lot of personality into my stuffed animals and toys.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was Toy Story that kind of...
That's a similarity that we both had with that then. Because I never... I mean, my mom has said, like, I was always kind of, like, playing and, talking with myself, making voices and whatnot. But, like, I was, like... if anything, my imaginary friend was the pretend, like, camera that I thought was recording the show that I created with my toys. Like, I had a fucking long story arc with my fucking toys.
This is interesting. Now tell me about your mother.
I don't know why you went there.
I was just funny. I just wanted to do a Freudian joke.
It is interesting, which just feels like, and I'm starting to like through because of Drop Dead Fred and this, and really just thinking about the form of an imaginary friend. It does seem like a lot of like imaginary friends really are just created for a sense of coping for young kids. It's a wild imagination, but I think most of the time imaginary friend is formed out of like...
It's formed out of necessity.
Yeah.
So I feel like if your kid probably does have an imaginary friend, it's because even it could be something as simple as loneliness.
Yeah.
A lot of single children. What am I trying to figure?
Only children?
Only children.
Only child?
Single. Only children.
Single child.
They
don't know how to date yet. So.
Yeah, I was like, that's not right. It's like I feel like it's definitely a thing with only single children.
Well, and if they don't have like cousins,
or just not like a tight friend group, it's because we are social creatures. It's, like as weird as this is, the same thing as like if you take like a cat or a dog from their litter too soon, they also, you're learning social things at a young age, and that's a big thing. So yeah, I mean, it can't be just because your kid makes up a imaginary friend. I don't think it means that they're doomed.
Yeah.
It means that they're just coping with something.
Yeah.
And it could be something really severe, or it could be something kind of more minute, and they're just, might be a little lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dr. Jacob and Tommy here talking about the complexities of child psychology right now.
Not qualified.
100% not.
Hot mess 1, hot mess 2. Listen. I'm going to tell you how to raise your children, all right?
God damn it, if your kid has an imaginary friend, you better put him in the fucking loony bin.
Lock him in the basement. That's our advice.
Lock him in the basement and give him food for one, because that imaginary friend will die.
You can both eat, you can both starve, only one of you starve. Your choice. Click, click.
Oh man, this got so dark so fast.
That was good. That was fun.
Okay.
So yes, don't take our parenting advice. But yeah, that's really like to just kind of put it away. It just felt like they really just couldn't pull the trigger on any one thing.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just wanted a little tidbit here and there, and that's what makes it, just because you did have these really well, especially with the talent you did have, you had these really sweet moments, the end realization and everything, and I just didn't really care about it.
And these moments that are really like clear, like visual representations of what someone's going through, similarly to how Phoebe Cates' character in Drop Dead Fred went into like whatever dream state world with Fred and then faced her fears. There's Albert going in and like, dreaming about his mom and then wanting to ascend upwards with her, the hallucinate, like the latter being, this like, oh, he's now ascending to his new mother type thing. Or even just like Whoopi, Harriet being like, oh, and she's the little kid dancing with Bogus, and then she is her adult self who has now accepted her inner child. It's like they're like metaphors for stuff that like that still misses the mark on like really what the movie's like. It just, we don't really care. You didn't give us a reason to care about going up to this point.
Yeah,
that's the shortened what I just said. That's it. Look at me using words.
What are we at?
We're at like 54. Let's wrap
right.
it up. Yeah.
I give it a 2.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 2.
Like, yeah, I just give it a 2.
It's like, I mean, obviously a 2.5 is like our middle of the road. I don't even think it's even, since I fell asleep, it's got so many like tired tropes in it. It's so predictable. I was like, yeah, less than.
I lost my pen.
Damn it.
I told you I was going to lose it.
Oh,
I don't know. I
thought you put it in your shirt.
I did. I'm not moving. Just take it subconsciously. Yeah, I don't know, because usually, I feel like I'm also very much the one that's always like, no, you should watch it, and blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed it, but I mean,
we had to go around about and rent this on YouTube and movies.
Yeah, it's not really, I mean, you can buy the DVD on Amazon, I saw from somewhere, but
not worth it. Unless you're a huge fan of Whoopi Goldberg.
Or Gérard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go out of your way to go seek it out. If you see it one day streaming randomly, you're like, oh, I like Whoopi Goldberg, then yeah, put it on. But I wouldn't really go out of your way. And again, it's just kind of a bummer because it is some great talent, and it really does feel like they were going to really
go somewhere.
I kind of really thought this was going to be a hidden gem. Like, actually, this movie was really cool because of these two random...
I was kind of curious,
how Gérard and Whoopi would interact and what would happen between them. I was very like, oh, that might actually be the saving factor. Is their
coming off of Drop Dead Fred, I was like, how much worse can it get?
Yeah, and it did. And it's not even like it's terrible. It's just not good.
Yeah.
You're not like, God, what a piece of shit.
It's kind of one of those things, and one of my acting teachers described it as like, you'll never really want to go to see something, and when it ends, just kind of sit there and be like, well, I guess I go take a shit or something. It's like, it has like no impact on you at all.
Yeah, and this just didn't really have any kind of impact on me.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred was definitely better of the two. All right, well, tell them what we're doing next week.
We're talking about bullshit.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break from the movies, and
we're going to teach you about agriculture and farming. How to plant that seed in the ground. Put some water on it.
Join us next week for our part 2 of child rearing in the best kind of basement to look.
Make sure there's no windows.
Oh, my pen!
God damn it.
Yeah, make sure there's no windows. Otherwise, the imaginary friend can get out and call for help from his other imaginary friends.
That you finding your pen should have been the fucking button there, honestly, of the episode. I'm just saying, like, that would have been like, oh, my pen! And then just cut out.
All right, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. You'll see all our promos there. On those promos is our link tree, and you can find everywhere we put our episodes. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. Like, follow, comment of any movies you can think of, and let us know if you've seen this one. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
This was episode 190 with 96's Bogus that we gave a 2. Yeah, follow us next week for just a fun little chit chat about
going into a banter. Just I think we're going to talk about video games more than anything.
I think next week is going to be video games. So if you're interested in that, we just every now and then need to take a little break from this stuff. So we're gonna do that. And this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Nice. That was good.